This is a big win for Peter Obi at the Elections Petitions Tribunal. Look at the response of Tinubu's lawyers, APC's lawyers, to Peter Obi's petition at the Elections Petitions Tribunal, the Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal. From their response, they are asking the court, the petition, the tribunal, to cancel or strike out Peter Obi's petitions on 2 grounds. One is that the drug case of Tinubu in the US happened many years ago, and that 2, Peter Obi is not a member of the Labour Party. Those are the 2 grounds that they are asking the petitions tribunal to strike out Peter Obi's petition. This is a big win for Peter Obi. You know why? 6 months ago, Festus Keyamo actually came on TV to make about 21 lies about this US drug case relating to Tinubu. And he got away with it because that was on TV. He was not on record. I actually did a video some days back or weeks back saying that I dared Festus Keyamo and the APC's lawyers to actually lie again on the record. And they've walked right into my trap, or I would say they walked right into Peter Obi's trap. They went and they lied on the record. Although this time around, their lies were not up to 21. But I can tell you that they are more than 10. 10 lies that they told. I don't know what is going through the APC's lawyers' minds. Perhaps they think that the judges on the Presidential Elections Tribunal, Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal, cannot read. Or perhaps they think that the documents are secret. The documents are in the public domain. Everybody can see it. So I don't understand why they will be so bold to go on record and lie. We'll look at all these lies in this record one by one, because just knowing that they are lying gives me joy. You know why? It makes Peter Obi's case easier and simpler. The truth is, I feel very, very hopeful right now that Peter Obi will reclaim his mandate. For one, they did not deny that Tinubu was involved in a drugs-related case in US. They did not deny. How can they deny? The information is in the public domain. Tinubu was involved in a drugs-related case, heroin trafficking case in the US. That they cannot deny. But they went on to make certain claims that are just lies. They are false. And those claims are what we'll look at today. We'll just look at them and identify whether they are true or whether they are false. Then in another video, we'll go into details of how they are lies. I don't want this video to be too long so that you can watch it till the end. And please, don't forget to share it. We need all Nigerians to hear this message. There are many Nigerians that are still out there, particularly those Tinubu supporters, that sincerely think that Tinubu is innocent of this drug case in the US. I'm telling you, it's shocking, but there exists some of Tinubu lawyers who think that he's innocent. But by the response of Tinubu's lawyers and the response of APC's lawyers, you'll see that we can now prove to those Tinubu supporters that really this US drug case really happened and it was not a lie. The least that APC is doing right now, or the best that the Tinubu lawyers are doing right now, is saying that it happened 29 years ago, and that's a long time ago now. That's what they are doing. But we'll look at the law, we'll look at the constitution and see if there's a statute of limitation on it. But for now, don't forget to share so that more Nigerians will see this video. We need this information to go out. Mainstream media will not disseminate these kind of messages. They will not, because of fear of fine from NBC. Meanwhile, we need the people to be informed. So that is why you have a responsibility to like, to subscribe to this channel, and then also share this video so that Nigerians will see the lies of APC and Tinubu's lawyers to the petition that Peter Obi presented at the Presidential Petitions Tribunal. Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal. Yes. So without much ado, let's go. The Vanguard of April 11, that's what we are reading from now. Alleged drug case, why Tinubu forfeited 460,000 US dollars in US, APC tells court. That's the picture of Tinubu there. Looks like he's about to cry, or he's been crying a long time. Well, that is going to be nothing compared to the cry that will come by the time Peter Obi reclaims his mandate. Or perhaps he will think that he may have been sworn in by May 29 and may have enjoyed president of Nigeria, which is what I think he just wants. But then we will reclaim our mandate. Who cares? Now, they insist that Tinubu was not convicted of a crime. That is a lie. Tinubu was convicted of a crime, and we will prove it as we go on. Now, the All Progressives Congress, APC, has opened up on circumstances that led to its candidates and President-elect Bola Tinubu to forfeit the sum of 460,000 US dollars to the government of the United States of America, USA, in 1993. Okay? Now, the ruling party in processes is filed to defend the outcome of the presidential election that was held on February 25, maintained that Tinubu, who was its candidate, merely surrendered funds in 10 bank accounts that were opened in either his name or that of Compass Microfinance, an investment company. Merely surrendered. That's a lie. He did not merely surrender it. He was forced to surrender it by a court order. A court ordered him to forfeit the funds, and the funds were forfeited because government already seized it. If government had not seized the funds, he was already in the process of withdrawing them to using them to buy land in an attempt to cover his track. So he did not merely surrender the fund. He was forced to surrender the fund, first of all, by having the fund seized by an order of court, and then the court ordering that he forfeit the funds. That's a lie. We'll go into details. I don't want this video to be too long. Now, it says, it told the Presidential Election Petition Courts sitting in Abuja that the funds in the said account, which were domiciled in both in First Heritage Bank and City Bank, were subject to a civil forfeiture proceedings, a case number this. Now, this is a lie, because it was a criminal charge that was brought against Tinubu. A criminal charge. We'll look at it. We'll look at the details of it. We'll provide evidence. The evidences are there. But just let's know that this is lie number, how many now? Lie number 2. According to the APC, the purported decision of the United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois, Eastern Division, in the said case, was not a fine, but a decree of forfeiture of the amount of 460,000 US dollars to the United States pursuant to the settlement claim by the parties to the case. This is a lie. Lie number 3. You will see very soon how this is a lie. The said decision is not against the second respondent, Tinubu, but against funds in the various accounts opened in the name of Bola Tinubu. This is lie number 4. Because the account has an owner. You cannot have an account without an owner. You cannot have a deposit into an account without an owner. And the owner in this case is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who, from the charge that was slammed on him, was charged for money laundering. Money what? Laundering. And being in charge of money that was gotten by illegal activity. In this case, drugs trafficking. So, the case is filed against Tinubu through his account. We'll see this. We'll provide evidence of all this as we go on. That's lie number what now? Lie number... Another lie. Let me just say, because I've even lost count. Lie number 4 or 5. The compromise terms that led to the forfeiture were preceded by express admission on record that the second respondent, which is Tinubu, did not admit the commission of any drug-related or illicit conduct of dishonesty or fraud that fits into any of the grounds of disqualification to the contest. They are referring to the section 137 of the Constitution of Nigeria. Well, we will see later that the court ruled in the final forfeiture order that it was for money gotten from drugs trafficking. And you tell me if drugs trafficking is not a fraud, Abi? Let's move on. Besides, the APC, through its legal team of lawyers led by Prince Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, told the court that the federal government, as far back as 2003, through the American consulate in Nigeria, inquired about Tinubu's criminal record. That's another lie. That lie was a tactical lie. We will prove it. We will prove all of this. He said the outcome of the inquiry which the FG made through the Inspector General of Police yielded a clean bill of health. That was not true. They asked a tactical lie and they were presented an answer based on their lie. Now, it is further argued that the said forfeiture Tinubu made to the US government, having lasted a period of 29 years, was no longer valid. Was no longer a valid ground to challenge his eligibility to contest the presidential election. This is simply not true. This is simply a lie. Because if you look at the qualification criteria in section 137 of the Nigerian Constitution, right? You'll see that there's no statute of limitation. No statute of limitation. So this is a lie also. The respondent states that that's Tinubu. In any event, the impleaded decision of United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois, is not a decision by a competent court of law. Okay, a competent court of law or tribunal in Nigeria. Now, that is a lie. Because if you look at section 137 sub D of the Nigerian Constitution, you will see that the conditions are clear. The only place where it is required that the court order or judgment would be by a court in Nigeria is if it is for a death sentence. But if it is for any other sentence of imprisonment or sentence of fine, it doesn't matter where it happened, whether it is in America or whether it is in Europe. So far, you have been found guilty of dishonesty in any form, whether in Nigeria or not, that person stands disqualified according to our law. So this is a lie. Furthermore, the release from forfeiture of other monies in the account, the subject of the proceedings in case number 93C4483, in excess of $1 million, and for the benefit of the named beneficiary K.O. Tinubu, though not accountable, the less forfeited sum of $460,000 is a manifest affirmation that the case was not a criminal trial and the funds forfeited was not a fine imposed on as a punishment for a criminal conviction of any person, let alone the second respondent. That's another lie, because it's a criminal charge that was brought against Tinubu. That's the US Code 1956 and US Code 1957. Now, each of these criminal code have their punishment. The punishment is either a fine of not more than $500,000 or imprisonment of not more than 20 years, or both. Now, what is not more than? Which means the fine can be $400,000. The fine can be $300,000. The fine can be $490,000 based on the discretion of the judge. But the judge cannot give a fine of more than $500,000 according to the prescribed punishment for that law, for that charge, for that crime. And it can be an imprisonment of 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, 2 years, 18 years, but not more than 20 years, according to the punishment prescribed for violating that code, US Code 1956 and 1957, if you want to add that. And then it can be both of them, depending on the discretion of the lawyer. In this case, because of the plea bargain that Tinubu engaged in, the judge ordered only a fine, particularly because Tinubu was not even in America at the time, ordered a fine of not more than $500,000, which was $460,000. That's what is prescribed. The judge does not have the power to hold any funds in excess of $500,000 linked to the accounts that were linked to Tinubu. That's why only $460,000 was released. Not because it was not a criminal trial. It was a criminal offense that was slammed against Tinubu. We'll deal with more of these. We'll deal more on these later, each of them. And I hope that our lawyers will do justice to this case, because this is like being served victory on a platter of gold. These Tinubu people should know that Nigerians are not stupid. Nigerians are not dumb. They should know that Nigerians can read. And they should know that the judges can read too. And they should know, the judges should also know that Nigerians are watching. The world is watching for them to do the right thing. The disqualification factors as stipulated by the Constitution only conceives of a conviction, sentence, or fine involving dishonesty or fraud or contravention of the code of conduct as found by a court of law of competent jurisdiction or tribunal in Nigeria. That is a lie. This that is just quoted here is subsection E of section 137 of the Nigerian Constitution, not subsection D. This is a separate condition. Mind you, any of the conditions listed in subsection in section 137 of the Constitution of Nigeria must be met, and any one of the conditions is enough to disqualify anybody. So latching onto subsection E, as they are doing here, is a conspiracy to deceive the court, while urging the court to strike out petitions against Tinubu. The APC argued that Mr. Obi of the Labour Party, who alleged that Tinubu was convicted for drug-related case, lacked the requisite locus standing to challenge the outcome of the petition. You see, it's like, it's becoming clear now why external forces have been trying to infiltrate the Labour Party now. When the leadership crisis within the Labour Party started, it was not clear to me at first. It was not clear to me at first. But upon seeing this reply from APC on Monday, from Tinubu's lawyer on Monday, it's now becoming clear to me why that happened. Because right now, they are targeting the membership register of Labour Party. Because the grounds that they are trying to stand on is disqualify or discredit Peter Obi as not being a member of the Labour Party, based on the Labour Party's membership database, membership records. So if they can get their own people to become chairman of Labour Party, and their own people now come and present documents, the database of Labour Party membership, as at when they want, and that chairman now says that Peter Obi was not a member of Labour Party as at May of 2022, then they will have a case and say, Shebi, we told you. So I guess that is why, because I was wondering in my head, why was it that the Akpakpa-led faction were so eager to go and tear down and break door and force their way into the Labour Party office on a holiday, Good Friday holiday for that matter? What was it that they needed to do that was so urgent, and they needed to break down the Labour Party headquarters to gain access? Now it's becoming clear. So there seems to be an attempt to infiltrate the Labour Party, to adulterate their membership database, to exclude Peter Obi, so they can say, since Peter Obi is not a member of Labour Party, he could not have been the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, and then he could not be suing them at the Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal. That's what they are trying to do. So it's clear now. Nigerians, Labour Party, obedience must stand steadfast. Yes, the Electoral Act says that 30 days before the presidential, presidential primaries of any political party, the political party should send a detailed database. They should maintain a database of their membership, whether hard copy or soft copy, and they must send that to INEC. Yes, the Electoral Act 2022 actually stipulates that. So I hope that the Labour Party has their facts right. They have their document, their data up to date. I hope that the soft copy that was sent to INEC was sent to INEC and it includes Peter Obi's name. I hope, and I hope. So that these people will not succeed in their infiltration attempt. But on these two grounds, you see that Peter Obi stands a very good chance. Peter Obi stands a very good chance. Now, let me stop this video here so that it doesn't get too long. It's already getting too long. I wanted this video to be about 10 minutes, but it's already way past 10 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll cut it now, and then I'll go into details of the lies concerning the Tinubu's US drug case so that all Nigerians can see. But in the meantime, please don't forget to like, share. If you have not liked it, please like it now. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps more Nigerians to see these messages, to see the lies of Tinubu and his lawyers concerning this petition as the case progresses. So share it and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. A new Nigeria is possible.